And so, our first speaker, Mr. Christopher Middleton, the title of his speech is Unsure, Mr. Christopher Middleton.
Thank you for the applause. Didn't do anything yet, but I appreciate it. Well, the title of my speech is Unsure. It's because, as you can tell, if you come up here, you're kind of nervous. You know, it's a little secret, but I am kind of nervous. You know, am I nervous because I'm talking to some people I haven't seen before? Well, not really. I do that all the time at work. Am I nervous because, I don't know what your reaction is going to be? Maybe, maybe not. But I am nervous is because I'm unsure of what to tell you. And that's just the reason for my title. I'm unsure because you say, okay, I want to tell everybody a little bit about myself. So where do you start? Okay, so I came up with a bunch of different scenarios, different things I can say to everybody. And I said, well, let me start where I was born. I was born in Orange, New Jersey. And I moved from there at, 2, 3 years old to a big city in South Carolina called Vance. Has anybody heard of Vance, South Carolina? That's because if you're driving in your car and you do this, you pass it. That's it. We had, you know how some people say we have a small town, we have one street light. We didn't have a street light. You have a blinking light? No blinking light. We had a stop sign. One stop sign. That's all we needed. We only had one paved road. The rest of it was dirt roads. So you didn't need that. We had one police officer. He had a car, I think it ran, I'm not sure because he kept his car right by the stop sign. So nobody would pass that stop sign. So a couple of years passed and my mom remarried and now I moved to a big city. Well, this is what I thought was a big city. I was moving to the big city called Mount Scorner. And I thought I was the Jeffersons. I was like, you might as well change my last name because I came up. I'm now at a big city called Mount Scorner. Anybody heard of Mount Scorner? What? One person? I'm surprised. Well, I'm 2 people. So Mount Scorner is where I did the rest of my raising up. Actually, where my parents really raised me. It was in Mount Scorner. Mount Scorner was a little different. We had, at the time when I was there, maybe 3 street lights. Things were looking up. I had more stop signs than I could probably count. Then I think it's probably 10. But we had more stop lights than I could count. Stop signs than I can count. But the great thing about Mount Scorner was, now I felt like I was in a big city. I did something big. We were accomplishing something. We had more cops. We had 4 cops at the time. 2 cars. They drove. So they were out there patrolling the area. We thought we really came up. So leaving Mount Scorner, I went from there to Columbia, because that's where I went to school. So when I went to school, the biggest thing I had to describe with where I came from was where it actually was located. They said, well, where were you born, where were you raised? I said, well, Mount Scorner. They said, well, what state is that in? I'm like, this is in the same state we're in now. Columbia, South Carolina, Mount Scorner, South Carolina. I don't know, never heard of it. I said, have you heard of Charleston? They said, okay, I know what Charleston is. Well, I said, well, it's only about 30 minutes from Charleston. They said, well, you don't sound like you're from Charleston. What am I supposed to sound like? I said, well, you enunciate, and you say things you're supposed to, you talk regularly. You don't say things like, instead of street, you don't say street. And you don't say, things that the normal people, and some of the people from Charleston were saying. And I was like, well, that's kind of wrong to say something like that. Like, well, no, that's just the way everybody talks down there. I was like, okay. So, I didn't realize I picked up a lot of that dialect as the years went on. For a long time, I would go through the thing saying bring, bring, brung, which is right, wrong, wrong. So I would go into a meeting. I had a meeting with clients, and one day I would go in there and get real comfortable. And the guy said, well, I seem to forgot my paperwork. I said, no, I brought it with me. And they were just looking like, I said, well, I made a mistake. So people don't realize that once you're in that dialect, that's just how it kind of comes out of me once in a while. So that was one of the things that I really appreciated about when I came up. I had an affinity for Mount Scorner, Vance, all those places where I said, these are my roots of where I came from. So went to college in Columbia, graduated from there, started traveling around the U.S. with my job. and got a good understanding of a lot of people, a lot of different places, a lot of cultures. Really had a great time doing that. But that's a little bit about myself. Not a lot, but always feel free to talk to me about anything you want to. All right? I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Again, my name is Chris Middleton.